Hey guys, welcome back to Pharaoh Iron and Customs. I'm Michael. Today I'm going to repair this wheel that it's on some of Glenn's relative. I believe he said his older brother for his trailer. They had a flat and somebody rode it on the flat and it beat the rim to death. This rim fits a Ford Maverick, Ford Mustang, early Ford Mustang, like in the 60s, and it fits Falcon is what this wheel fits. It's 13. It looks like, I think it's 4.5, 13 by 4.5. I took a measurement to find the back spacing is 3.5 inches. So we're going to try to set the new wheel to 3.5 inches. I kind of started recording this video and then went back and wanted to record it again because it didn't explain, what it was for. I started trying to drill the rivets out, and that's going to be a lot of work. So I broke out the old slice and dice, and I think that's going to be my best bet. I'm just going to have to be careful not to dig into the wheel. The other wheel is welded, so it's going to have to be cut. That is a little tedious. I'm going to get all these out. I think I'm going to cut so far, get my chisel, break the heads off, and then try to pound them out. I did try to grind them from the outside in, and I don't think that's going to work very well either. So, we'll be back when we get a little more done. Alright guys, so I ground down in there, and I just used a cold chisel to pop the heads off. I'm going to dress them up with the flap disc. Couple of things about the difference in a cold chisel and a hot cut chisel is the shape of the point. Basically, a hot cut will come down. I want to say that it's supposed to be a sharper point. I'll look that up and make sure I'm not telling y'all wrong. Also, I dressed up the end of the chisel. Y'all try to keep your chisels dressed. Those ends will split off and those pieces of metal will go flying and can hurt you. So I'm just going to take I may change to a flap wheel. I'm just going to take a flat grinding disc. Yep, that's how we're going to get after it. Alright guys, I've got all but 3 of these out. They've come out pretty easy. And I was, when I was telling you about the chisel, I did look it up to check myself. A cold chisel has a more of a blunt tip, and a hot chisel has more of a shallow tip, like the angle comes down much sharper, and the temper's different. But I mean, if you're hot cutting still, you can use a cold chisel. Just be aware that you'll probably wreck the temper and the tip. Alright, let's see. The grinding almost made those completely disappear to where they're very hard to see. But when you get them in the right spot, they do pretty much pop right out. Yeah. That was not as bad as trying to drill them. Although drilling them, I think if I had a drill press big enough, a pedestal press, that's the way I would do it. I ground it well enough, they have totally disappeared on me. Let's see, there's got to be one right there. there, I think. There we go. There we go. And they are still tied in there. We do not want to bend this part of the hub. Because we're, you know, obviously using this part over. I don't see any weld in there. It's coming loose. It's just got, you know, 50, 60 years of rust in there. All right, let me get this loose and I'll come back. All right, guys, I got the got that out. I've cleaned it up a little bit. I think I'm gonna take the wire wheel and maybe grind it a little more before I put it back together. I'll probably shoot a little coat of paint on it when I get done. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it, but you know, you can spend as much time as you want. You know, put it in the blast cabinet, bead blast it, clean it up, shoot some etching primer on it. You know, it's for a trailer, so it's going to look better than it did. All right, so on this one, let's see, and I do need to change back to my cutoff. We're just going to go, there's 4 welds, and what I'm going to try to do is cut along where the weld is, and we're going to have to come back and grind the weld out. So I'm not sure that I'm going to get done with this today, but you know, that's not going to matter because y'all, it's not going to be that much longer in the video. Oh yeah, smell that galvanized. All right, I'm going to get this cut out and I'll come back. All right guys, so this is a nice tight fit. I had to pound it in. I'm doing a little bit of time. We are still pretty far off. That other wheel was countersunk pretty deep. Looks like this side's down further than this side, so I'm not too terribly worried about bending anything. We're up hitting against the wood. I may have to put it on something more solid than this, finish driving it in. But yeah, this is deeper than here. So I'm going to get this down further, and then we're going to have to build the bearing for it to ride on. We're going to have to build that bearing, mount it, and I'll get out my dial indicator. It's supposed to be within 50 thousandths of an inch, which is like 1/8 is 125, so 50 thousandths is less than a 16th. I would say less than a 16th on this trailer wheel would be amazing. So, you know, considering you don't usually balance trailer wheels. So I'm gonna knock off here tonight. I'm gonna get back out here tomorrow and we're gonna finish up. All right guys, I'm finally back on this. It's about a month after I started on it. You know, anyway, life. So, what I'm doing right now is checking the run out on the rim, and I have got it within 25 thousandths of an inch. I think spec is 50. I was going to do something more elaborate where I could stand it up, and what you would do on the car is you would go ahead and put your dial indicator, hook it to your axle somehow, or on a hub or whatever, where you could you know, set up your dial indicator and just spin the wheel. And what I was doing was just taking, and I got the back spacing on the wheel like I wanted it, and I just started bumping where I would get a high spot, And what I was going to say is this rim has a couple of spots in it where it's high here and it's high here and it's low here and it's low here. So it really can't be that way. And I was like, it's only 25 thousandths of an inch, which is, you know, about half the gap of a spark plug. I think you're allowed 50. I did try to check on the lip of the rim, but this, where there's right there in particular, there is a huge lump of galvanized, and this rim is not perfect. It's a trailer rim. 25 thousandths is enough. Basically, you'd want to get it as good as possible. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break out the welder. We're going to blow a tack in a couple of spots, and then we're going to come back and check it one more time, and we'll probably stitch it, do an inch, do an inch, do an inch, do an inch, make sure it doesn't move, and weld it up. Okay guys, I tacked that in place. I've checked it one more time, and seems to be good. I'm going to come back and alternate from my tacks to the other side. I'm going to weld an inch, move to the other side, and just go slow. Oh, by the way, I've turned the welder up. I was a little hot. You can see where I blew through the rim right there. So we don't need quite that much penetration. Oh, and we don't have ground. Still hot. Okay, so it's getting hot enough to burn the galvanized. Here, let me set this up so y'all can see. Did I put my fat old head in the way? Probably. Let's see. Move that around a little bit. I'm on the galvanized. Y'all smell that? Alright, I'm going to check it one more time, and then we're going to go through and do 1-inch tacks. I'm trying to get a good shot for y'all, but where it's at, it's hard for me to get a good shot and put myself in a good position. That weld looks really good. That weld looks okay. This one is okay. So I'd rather weld this good. I mean, I want to get y'all a decent shot, but I'd rather make sure the weld is right. I'll be right back. Okay, I checked it again. Everything looks good. Like I said, we're just gonna go ahead and weld this thing up. I'm leaving the hub torqued into place in case the torque of the nuts makes a difference. And works better with ground. Guys, I call myself grounding that galvanized off better than that. It seems like it welded good. like I said, this is another. Like I said, this is somewhere you need to make sure that you're confident in your abilities, because this is going to be spinning really fast going down the highway, or as fast as the trailer will spin. And see there, we're getting good penetration. Matter of fact, it's getting hot enough to blister the galvanized off the other side. Come on. This would have been a perfect place to have practiced some TIG welding. Maybe. No, this ain't a perfect place to practice any kind of welding. This is a perfect place to know what you're doing, or at least well enough to know that it ain't going to come apart. See a couple of welds you don't like, go back and hit them again. That weld turned out really nice. Alright. Let's check this one more again. And this is my old snap-on dial indicator. You don't have to have a snap-on dial indicator. You can get one from Lowe's. Hell, guys, that yeah, it's still about 25 thousandths off. So I'm not mad at that. It'll be fine on the trailer. Alright, that's better. Alright guys, we're not halfway through January yet. We're getting close. I don't think I'm going to get to the Mazda. Matter of fact, I'm not even looking in that direction right now. Next week's video will be, you know, I think I talked about it last week. We're going to put the exhaust on Glenn's truck. Of course, it's already done, so but that's what that video is going to be. And then probably the week after that, I may do a video. What I'm going to do is put the interior as much back together on the car as I can. Put the latches in the doors. Anything on the inside, because it's already been jammed. The jams are already painted, and it's going to have to be taped. It's going to have to be cleaned, resanded, painted. The bumpers have got to be primed again. I may prime the bumpers before February, but with the days, one day in Carolina, it's 100% humidity and raining its tail off. The next day, it's like today, and I'm sweating my, tail off. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and figure on getting back on that in March or April. We're going to make it through February, working on the Volkswagen. I'm going to try to get myself back motivated into getting out here and working. I'm going to spend the rest of January getting this car out of here, and once the car gets out of here, we're going to get everything out of this shop that I can, that I don't need to work on the Volkswagen. I want to get the Mazda, old Mazda hood. I haven't exactly decided where I want to hang it. I want to hang it somewhere in the shop. It's the only part of the paint job that we kept. If you remember from the other video, the earlier video, one of the first videos we did working on the Mazda was went and found a hood at the salvage yard so we could keep the old hood, or keep the hood with the paint job on it. I mean, both the wife and I wanted to do that. So yeah, and like I said, I got to get this place cleaned up, get the Volkswagen in here, and man, I'm looking forward to getting back in this Volkswagen, getting back in daily. I'm thinking about what I want to do. I want to do the wheel tubs, I want to do the floor pans, and do the firewall for sure. We may get into some other things. I don't think that we're going to get into, I have a camshaft to go in that engine. I'm going to need to get a set of lifters for it. So I'm not thinking about anything engine wise running, because I'm going to have to go through the transmission before we do the final install, or get the engine and transmission working. The transmission in that car would probably be fine. The guy that owned it said it was shuddering. If you know anything about Fords, AODs, E40Ds, 4R70Ws, anything along that lines will, if the fluid gets dirty in it, the torque converter will start shuddering whenever it goes into lockup. And when I was working at Ford back in 96 is when I think I was at the Ford dealership, we replaced a bunch of torque converters. But realistically, the only thing that needs to be done is you need to dump the fluid out of the transmission, dump the fluid out of the torque converter, fill it up with new fluid, put a new filter in it, and 95% of the time, that right there fixes it. Of course, changing the torque converter and changing the fluid also fixes it. But it sells a torque converter. So I'm gonna let this cool. It's cool to the touch, but I'm gonna let it cool. Get out here tomorrow afternoon, mount that tire on there. I'm not even gonna worry about painting it. If he wants it painted when he gets back, I'm gonna let him paint it. And that's gonna be it for this video. You know, do all the like and subscribe and share and whatever thing. And like I said, come back for February. We are going to get that Volkswagen in here and do some work on it, and you know, go from there. See y'all later.